Welcome parents and student athletes. Congratulations on being part of an athletic team at York. There are numerous benefits to participation in athletics, and since your freshman year, the York administration and staff have encouraged you to stay involved. The York Athletic Department wants everyone involved in athletics to have a positive experience. York competes in the West Suburban Conference, which to me is one of the toughest conferences in the state of all sports. In order to have a successful athletic program, it is important to communicate and have expectations for everyone involved. This video is a presentation that I have presented in the past to communicate the information and expectations of the York Athletic Department. Health and safety protocols. The safety of all students and our staff is our top priority. Athletes should bring their own water bottles to refill at practices and competitions. The York Athletic Department will have locker rooms available for athletes to use during the season. If anyone is feeling ill or not feeling well, please stay home. If you have any symptoms for COVID, please get tested and wait for the results. The current quarantine policy states that if you test positive for COVID, you should stay home for 5 days. On day 6, you may return to school and to practices or your activity. It is recommended that you wear a mask when you return for days 6 through 10 of your return to school and practices. Athletic website. All the information that you hear today will be on the York Athletic website. That includes competition and practice schedules. Go to york.elmhurst205.org and please check out all the information that we'll go through today. And if anything's not answered, you should be able to go to the York Athletic website for that information. In order to compete in a sport, you must be registered, and all athletes must be registered online and have an updated IHSA physical on file in the York Athletic office. Please check the date on your son or daughter's physical and plan ahead. IHSA physical forms must be used for athletic participation. Communication. York is a large public high school. Communication is expected. Our coaches today will say all the expectations, team rules and policies, and all the schedules for this season. Parents, please inform coaches of any family conflicts with schedules at the beginning of the season. This helps, which includes holidays, long weekends, and any days we're not in school. If you have any conflicts, please let coaches know. If there's an issue or a concern on the team, athletes must be advocates for themselves. Please remember, coaches make the final decisions for tryouts, playing time, and the role of everyone in each of the teams. There's so many variables that go into playing time. I do not discuss it with parents. That is a coach's decision. That is final. Parents, do not send me anonymous letters. It does not help when I do not know what the concern is or who it's coming from. Please address any concern in a professional manner and follow the communication protocol. Remember, coaches make final decisions on who makes a team, who starts, and who plays. Code of conduct. Your son or daughter signed the code of conduct and the student handbook at the beginning of the school year. Please know all expectations and the school policies. Student athletes are held to a higher standard in athletics. Always make good decisions on and off the field 24/7 all year round. Examples that I see as the assistant principal for athletics that are violations of the code of conduct: student athletes that go to parties where there's drugs or alcohol, vaping, misuse of social media, any type of bullying or harassment. If your son or daughter is suspended from school, that is going to be a code violation and there will be a consequence. The first consequence for a code violation is 20% of the season. Concussion mandates. York is responsible for following the IHSA concussion mandates, which include the return to play and the return to learn protocols. Please report all concussions. If your son or daughter has a concussion, they should see the York athletic trainers. Baseline testing will be done prior to each sports season for our contact sports. And at this time, I would like to introduce our York athletic trainers to take you through our concussion mandates.
Hi, my name is Fee. I'm one of the athletic trainers here at York. I'm just going to talk to you about our concussion protocol and what we expect from you and what you expect from us. So one of the first things we'll do during pre-season is we'll identify any sport that has a high risk of concussion or a likely chance of concussion. During that sport, if your kids participate in that sport, we will get them to do an impact test, which is a test to determine cognitive functioning. And we get them to do a baseline test so that if they do get a concussion, we can use that as part of our assessment tool to determine whether or not they can start return to play. So we will generally be around in the AT room or on site, especially for games. So while we're there, if your kid experiences concussion-like symptoms, we will be there to do a full eval and assessment. We will determine if your child has a concussion. If they do have a concussion, we will contact you and let you know how to manage it. Most concussions are managed by us here and we can manage them. If they have or are showing severe signs of symptoms of concussion, we may refer out to a doctor. Most cases though, we can manage here. Symptoms usually will start to go down a couple of hours post-concussion, and symptoms usually reside 24 to 48 hours after concussion. If symptoms persist longer or get worse, we will refer out to a doctor and we will let you know. If the child is diagnosed with a concussion, we will manage it here and we will get the person to check in every single day so that we can monitor their symptoms and show a progression. Once they are symptom-free, for a 24-hour period, we will administer that impact test again. This will determine whether or not they can start their post-concussion return to play protocol. This protocol involves doing exercise at a gradual level, day by day, building up to eventually return to practice. Each step is determined by reproduction of symptoms. If symptoms are not reproduced, they will pass on to the next stage, and then so on and so forth. With regards to bringing them back into practice, once this pass each stage in a controlled environment here at the gym, we will start them with non-contact practice. If symptoms are not reproduced, we will start them with limited contact, then into full contact, and once they've participated in one full contact practice without concussion symptoms being reproduced, we will clear them fully for return to play. Any questions, feel free to contact myself, Fee, or the other athletic trainer, Jim, on anything at all concussion related, and especially with the management of your kid.
Academic eligibility in 5 classes at all times. If your son or daughter is not passing 5 classes, they'll be ineligible for a week, and eligibility is checked every week. There's so many resources at York, there's no way anyone should be failing any classes. Please get help before school or after school and use the academic resources that we have available. After school practices and pickup. Please make sure that your son or daughters are getting picked up after practices. We do have a late bus at 4:30 and 6:15 if a ride is not available. Sportsmanship. Parents, this is big, especially in today's day and age. It's important to please be positive and cheer in support of your son and daughter and our athletic teams. Yelling and screaming at the officials or coaches will not help any situation. Remember, you're in an educational setting and you must be positive role models for the students. Streaming of York athletic events. Our YTV broadcast students do a wonderful job of broadcasting events on YouTube. If they're not broadcasting an event, if you are at an event in the Campbell Gym, the South Gym, or the Field House, we also have NFHS cameras that will be streaming any competition in those venues. You can subscribe to the NFHS through a local subscription by going to the nfhsnetwork.com. Athletic boosters. I am the luckiest assistant principal for athletics in the state. We have a wonderful group of parents that are our athletic boosters that support us in so many different ways. Please get involved and support the athletic boosters in their cause for fundraising for York athletic teams. Ways that you can do that. Membership. They sell membership that'll get you into York athletic events by buying a booster pass. You can do that prior to each school year. Also, please help out with concessions. The boosters need help selling concessions throughout our athletic events in each season. And again, all that money goes back to all of our York athletic sports. We just need parents to help out in concessions. And the York Athletic Boosters also have one big fundraiser a year, and that's called the Green Scene. That's in the end of February. Please make sure you go to that event and again, support the York Athletic Boosters. Again, my name is Rob Wagner. I am the Assistant Principal for Athletics. My staff, the Assistant Athletic Director is Nicole Bellicomo-Young, and our Administrative Assistant is Chrissy Morth-Fisher. We are here to support you in anything that you need this sports season. So please feel to reach out to contact us if you have any questions. Have a great season, Dukes, and go York.